Hello, my name is Cole with Southern Leisure Spas and Patio, and today I'm going to take you through the basic operation and maintenance of the Crown Series with Marquis Spas. Once your spa has been delivered and the electrician has hooked up the wiring, the first thing you need to do is fill your spa with water. To fill your Crown Series from Marquis with water, you need to remove the filter lid. You can place that off to the side. You need to take one of the filters out by unthreading it counterclockwise, and it will pull straight out once you have it unthreaded. And you're going to put your garden hose down in this filter area. Turn your garden hose on and watch the spa fill up. You're going to want to fill it to about 1 inch to 1.5 inches below the bottom of the pillow. So that is important. You don't want to overfill it. It can cause a siphon leak through the check valve in the air control system. And then once you have it full, turn your garden hose off, put the filter back in, thread it in clockwise, and then you're going to take the filter lid and place it right on top like that. The filter lid has little magnets in the bottom that help keep it in place. So just set it right on top like that, and now you're ready to turn your spa on at the breaker. Alright, once you have the hot tub full of water, it's time to talk about the jets a little bit. So the jetting system with the Marquis Crown Series is very unique. They have the patented dynamic flow control system, and this system is probably the easiest to use and most versatile system on the market. You have your diverter function and your air control function built into the same valve right here, and it operates very smoothly, very nicely, and gives you complete control over where the water flows from the pump in the spa. So I'm going to go over to one of our wet models on the floor and show you how this works. Okay, so I'm here with our Crown Resort, and as you can see, we have the dynamic flow control valve right here. The air is the small valve on the small side with the dots on it. Those stand for the air bubbles, and then the actual water flow control is going to be this area over here with kind of the large arc, and the dial is going to have the blue and red indicators on it. So this is going to be what controls the water flow in the seat that it's closest to. And so blue is going to control the blue jets, and if I turn it to one side, it's going to shut the red jets off and strictly push all the water through the blue jets. If I move it back over to red, this is what Marquis calls the hot zones. Those are the red high output therapy jets. It's going to push the water directly through the red jets. It's going to turn the blue ones off. If you want to run the red and the blue all at the same time, you are going to put it right here in the middle, and it will share the pressure from that pump between all the jets. The air control valve over here, if you turn it all the way where the dots are small, that's going to turn your air off. And if you move it all the way to the large dots on that end, it's going to mix the air at the highest level. And so this gives you really a lot of control with your air, where most spas just have air off or on. This gives you more control on the air mix with the jet. So the jet is going to have more pressure. It's going to be higher pressured with the air mixed all the way in. And if you're looking for more of a gentle massage, you're going to want to turn that air all the way down. So that's pretty much the dynamic flow control valve in a nutshell. You have your water control, flow control here, and your air mix control there. And these valves are going to be located around the spa. The Crown Series, there can be anywhere from 1 to 4 of these valves around the spa, depending on the amount of pumps and jets that are in the spa. So you'll just have to play with those dynamic flow control valves and see which one controls what seat. There is a diagram in the owner's manual, but the best way to really figure it out is get in the spa and play with it. The other valves that you'll see around the spa are going to be your water feature control valve and your neck jet valve. So right here I have the water feature control valve, and this is going to control this water feature off and on. All the Crown Series have a water feature similar to this on them, and to control this, you're just going to either move it to one side or the other. If you turn it all the way to the right, If you're outside the spa, it's going to turn it off. If you turn the knob all the way to the left, it's going to open it all the way up. If you want to dial it down, you can put it somewhere in between, and that can lower the flow of the water feature. The neck jet valve works the same way. You can open it all the way up, you can turn it all the way off, or you can put it somewhere in the middle to dial back the flow of the pressure of the neck jets. Alright, so next we are going to talk about the topside control on your Marquis Crown Series. The Crown Series has a really nice glass touchscreen right here. It is fully waterproof. It's made for the hot tub industry. It's made to be in the water, so there's no concern there. The first thing we're going to talk about is the temperature control. So you're going to hit the thermometer here in the bottom left corner. It's going to pop this up right here, and to adjust the temperature, you're going to tap the whatever the temperature is right there, and this slider is going to pop up, and you can drag your finger. It'll go all the way as high as 104, and it'll go all the way down to 60 on the other end. That doesn't mean it's going to cool the spa. That just means it's not going to call for heat unless you have it set at a certain temperature. Once it reaches that set temp, the heater is going to turn off. So right now we have ours set at 100. If you want to move one at a time, you can tap it one way or another. We're going to leave ours set at 100. And once you have it set there, that's going to be your set temp. And let's look at the jets. So these round circles right here are going to be your jet control. You have jet 1 and jet 2 on this Crown Resort, and you have the soak button. So jet 1 is running in low speed right now. We're in a filter cycle. If I hit it again, it's going to turn jet 1 onto high speed. If I hit it again, it's going to turn the jets off. Same thing with jet 2. If I hit it once, it's going to get low speed on jet 2. If I hit it again, we're going to get high. And if I hit it again, they will turn off. The soak button is going to be for turning everything off, making the spa completely quiet. If I tap the soak button, everything shuts off. So if you're in the spa, you want to just admire the stars and get rid of all the noise, hit the soak button. If you hit it again, it's going to turn the soak feature off. It's going to kick pump 1 back on because we are in a filter cycle. So to get back to the main screen, you're going to hit this back arrow in the bottom left corner. And this Crown Series is equipped with the Jewel lighting. So we have the Jewel lighting feature right here. So to turn the Jewel lighting off or on, this main power button up in the top left corner will turn all the lights off or on, exterior and interior. And then you have these different settings within here. We are on the Zone A, so the spa has 2 zones. It has Zone A, which is interior, and Zone B, which is exterior. You get to Zone B by hitting the arrow button over here. Zone B, the exterior, does not have any colors. It's just one color, but you do have the dimmer ability, so you can dim your corner panel lights by tapping that wheel, and every time you tap it, it will dim all the way down until it completes the cycle, and then it'll go back to the brightest setting. So let's jump back over to Zone A. So you have your dimmer function right there, your dimmer button. You can dim them all the way down. Let's turn them all the way back up. You have your timer function, so this is going to be the speed at which the lights rotate if you have it on like a color cycle setting. And then these 3 right here are going to be different color cycles. So this is like a rainbow color cycle that moves in the colors that you see on the wheel right there. This is just kind of a mix from what I can tell, and then this is a relaxing color cycle. And then if you want to just pick out individual colors, you can do that right here. So if you want to go all green, all orange, all blue, you can pick your individual colors, or you can jump up here and do a color matrix, like a color cycle through. And if you want to turn the lights off, all you would do is hit the power button right there. Let's hit the back arrow and jump back to the home screen. This button right here in the right hand corner is super handy because if you're outside the spa like I am right now, you can have the screen facing this way. If you want to flip the screen around when you're in the spa, just tap that button. That way when you're in it, you can look at the screen and see and read everything very well from in the spa. So we'll flip it back around, and this is the settings button. I can't flip it around since I am outside the spa. The settings screen does not allow you to flip it, but you basically have your time. You want to set your time and date and get that accurate. You have your filter cycles, so you can set your filter cycles. Right now we have a couple 3-hour cycles running. I would recommend probably one 1-hour filter cycle for the morning and the night. For just regular residential use, 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening should be fine. That's 2 hours every 24 hours. That's quite a bit of water moving through. This is the heat mode, either ready or rest, I believe. Yeah, rest or ready. If you're going to leave town, you would want to probably put it in rest. It's going to use less power that way. Or in the summer, if you're in a hot state in the summer, the rest mode is going to run less often to check for water temp, and that's going to help keep your spa cooler because it's not picking up that heat transfer off the pump. Reminders, you can jump in here and set reminders. We don't have them activated right now, but there is some handy reminders. The owner's manual will kind of go over all of those. Smart Clean, if you want to run a Smart Clean cycle, that's going to be part of the Constant Clean system from Marquis. So after you get out of the spa, it's going to run a Smart Clean cycle. It knows when you use the spa and is able to run a Smart Clean to clean up the water and run it through the filter. Some diagnostic codes, I wouldn't really worry about that. Let the technicians worry about that. If you need to change the language, you can do that from that button right there. This panel settings, you can make it sleep after however many minutes of using it. You can make the screen go dark or swipe to wake. There's just a couple options there. And then the Jewel lighting settings, you can go in there and dial in the zones, the colors. You can test the system. Once again, not really something I'd mess with unless you're having an issue. But that really covers the topside control on the Crown Series head to toe. It is a very intuitive system, super easy to use, very responsive to the touch. These systems have come a long way, and so if you need any further explanation on this or any more detailed, refer to the owner's manual. Alright, next we are going to cover removing and cleaning your filter on your Marquis Crown Series. This is important to do about once a month. You're going to want to pull it out, rinse it out, and then once every 3 months you're going to want to soak it in a degreaser and then rinse it out really, really well to make sure you don't get soaked back in the hot tub. So to remove the filter on your Crown Series, you're going to pull up lightly on the filter cover lid right there. You can place that off to the side, somewhere outside the spa is recommended. And then you are just going to unthread these filters counterclockwise or left. And once they become a little bit loose in there, you're going to pull straight up and the filter will come out right there. So to rinse it out, you're just going to take a high pressure nozzle on your garden hose and you're going to try to rinse between these pleats right here. You're going to try to get all the debris, leaves, dirt, gunk out of there. Once you have it rinsed out really well, you're going to take it, slide it back down in there real gently. Don't be sure not to drop it. And then you're going to thread clockwise in, and don't go too tight. Be sure to just go finger tight, don't crank on it, because sometimes these threads can get stuck and break off down in there, and that's a whole nother animal if you break the threads off in there. So just finger tight on the filter, and then take your filter lid and put it back on. When it comes to your 3-month maintenance on the filters, you're going to want to take either a 5-gallon bucket and dilute some filter cleaner in there and soak the filters for 30 minutes to an hour and then rinse them out really, really well. Or you can get the filter cleaner in a spray bottle and you're going to take the filter out, you're going to spray it really well, let it soak for 30 minutes to an hour, and then take a high pressure nozzle on your hose and rinse it out really, really well. It's really important to get all that filter degreaser out of the filter because it can cause water chemistry issues in your hot tub if you don't rinse it very thoroughly. So you're going to want to make sure you clean both your filters once a month, just a light rinse, and then degrease them every 3 months. I recommend replacing the filters every 12 to 18 months on the spa. They're not really that expensive. A lot of people get 2 sets so that they can rotate. When they take some out to clean them, they can go ahead and put the other set, their spare set, in the spa. One other thing to mention is before you pull your filters out to clean them, turn the power off to the spa at the breaker. You don't want the pump kicking on and sucking anything down in the pump, that would have been picked up by the filter, like any leaves or any floating toys or anything like that that may be in the spa. So it is really important to turn the breaker off before you pull your filters out to clean them. Once you have your filters back in the spa, you can restore power to your spa by turning the breaker back on. Okay, the last thing I'm going to cover is draining your Marquis Spa. So to drain the Marquis Crown Series, you have to take the front door off to access the main drain. I would recommend going to Home Depot, Lowe's, or even buying online a submersible pump that you can put in the footwell of the spa. It's going to drain it a lot faster and keep you from having to take the front door off. It'll drain probably triple the speed of draining it through the gravity drain in the cabinet here. But in the event that you want to drain through the equipment area here, I'm going to show you how to take the door off. So the Crown Series has these little rotating tabs here at the bottom. And to take the door off, you're going to have to take this tab and turn it 180 degrees upside down. There's 3 of them along the bottom of the spa here, so you're going to turn each one 180 degrees, and then the door is going to lift off pretty nicely. Getting the door off is pretty easy. Getting the door back on can be a little bit difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and finish taking the door off on this side, and I will show you where the drain is. Alright, so once you have the door off, this hose right here is going to be your drain hose. It'll typically have a cap on it. Once the spa has been installed, our team will put the cap on, and then it's got this ball valve right here. If it's running parallel to the hose, that's open. If it's running perpendicular to the hose, that means it's closed. And so to drain the spa, you're going to turn it like that. That opens it up. You can thread your garden hose on here and run it out to your backyard, a gutter, the street, wherever makes the most sense to drain your spa. And then when you're done draining, you're going to turn it that way and put the cap back on. Make sure you put the cap on snugly so the spa doesn't leak. And then you can tuck it right here on that little bracket right there, that plastic bracket. So as you can see, these tabs are the ones that need to be turned and rotated down to get the door off. And then once you have the door off, you can drain it through the drain hose right here. Like I mentioned earlier, the easy way to do it is to get a submersible pump online or through a hardware store and do it that way. It'll drain quicker. You won't have to mess with taking the door off. And it's recommended to drain the spa at least every 6 months. Sometimes if you're a heavy user of the spa, I would recommend every 3 months, but you can go about 6 months on the Addy's chemical system if you maintain your spa properly without draining the water. So that about covers it for the Marquis Crown Series. If you have any questions, feel free to refer to the owner's manual or give one of our salespeople or service team a call. Thank you.